Two quarterbacks tonight that have good maneuvering ability, and Flanagan showed it on that play as he takes in from 2 yards out for the touchdown. That caps a drive that includes a 60-yard pass and catch from Flanagan to Stoller. The point after coming up by Brown out of the hold by Skipworth. There's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. We have 58 seconds to go in the first quarter. We are now tied at 7. We'll be back with the Ryder kickoff in just a moment. With the score 7-7, you're watching high school football here on WFTV. We have 58 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. We are tied at 7. Coyotes and Raiders on opening night here in Wichita Falls at Memorial Stadium. A 7-play, 71-yard drive capped off by the 2-yard scamper around left end by Flanagan, and we are tied at 7. Brown's kickoff is a ground ball up the middle. That is fielded by, it looks like Keitra Clark, and Clark is down at about the 30-yard line, and a flag on the play for what could be a face mask or a late hit. We'll see. Again, we are having a bit of a problem with the lights on the west side of the field. Things still just a tad dark, but starting to brighten up just a bit. Let's check out the flag. Wait for the referee signal. This is going against Ryder. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll take the ball to the 34. The call is a face mask.
Of the minor variety, right?
Minor, Mitch? Yeah. I had hoped that before the season is over with, we can get either Bob Schwartz or Terry to discuss a few of these penalties and what they mean. I'll think of that other guy's name.
Tim Novak.
Thank you. Dean Lee on first down gives to the first man through. The only man through, and that is Brian McMillan, and McMillan gets a few yards up to around the 38 or 9-yard line.
What do you think of the new fumble rule?
I haven't had time to digest it. You talking about what Lee Grace wrote about in the paper
5-yard
the other day? Well, you know, in light of what happened in San Diego a few years ago, many years ago now, I kind of think that
with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Skip, you remember that one, don't you? The infamous touchdown when the Raiders and Stabler and Casper kicked it about 25 yards down the field, and Oakland at that time finally recovered in the end zone for a touchdown.
Second down give is to number 21, McMillan, and he gets back to about the 39-yard line, a pickup of 2 on the play. The fumble rule is if a man is running with the ball and he fumbles forward, he is the only player who can recover it. Otherwise, it goes back to the line of scrimmage, and if he fumbles and it goes
in the end zone
behind him, then where the ball is recovered is where the ball is going to be put in play. And then if it goes into the end zone, it goes back to where the fumble occurred.
To the defensive team.
That concludes the first quarter of play here at Memorial Stadium, and we've got a fairly good ball game. Not quite the fireworks that we had in this game last year, but nevertheless, we have a 7-7 tie between the Wichita Falls High Coyotes and the Ryder Raiders. And with the score 7-7, we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching high school football here on WFTV. Played intended for number 22, Lyman Harris, and he was knocked down, but after the ball had cleared him, a good hit. Was it a good hit, Donnie?
Yes, it was. You think Scott Avery was impressed with his own hit?
Well,
Scott should have been happy.
It was fairly there for him.
Yes.
It's kind of like, here, take it, I'm yours. So punting time coming up for the Coyotes. And Scott Avery drops back deep to receive along with Kevin Owens. Center snap is fumbled, but he gets the kick away. It's a dying quail that will fall to the 40-yard line, and that is where the Raiders will put the ball in play, actually at the 39. Joel Sparks able to get that ball away, able to get the kick away after he fumbled it, and was lucky that he didn't have it blocked. It's 1st and 10 Ryder. The Raiders getting the ball back after scoring on their last possession. This is their first possession of the second quarter.
Now help me with something.
Donnie?
I've been saying Ramon. It's just Raymond Flanagan, isn't it?
Well, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Okay, we'll call him Raymond Flanagan here. And I'm sure we'll be corrected if we're wrong. Stoller in motion from top to bottom, and Flanagan drops to throw, gives to actually the second man through, and that's Lewis who gets across the 40 to around the 41-yard line. They'll say that his knee goes down to the 40, and now we have a late flag, and we will have probably unsportsmanlike conduct on this one.
Little extracurricular talking back and forth, and you know that's nothing new to this ball game between these two.
It's a dead ball foul, and it's against the Raiders.
I mean, you saw a little bit earlier when Scott Avery came up and made the great hit on defense and got up and had his gyrations going and making a few moves to the offensive receiver.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. You know, this is a long-time rivalry between these two schools.
Bob Schwartz, the head linesman, came over and discussed that penalty with Rider coach Wayne LeBlue. This is a major penalty that will bring the ball back to the 25-yard line. As the scoreboard freaks out again on us, but it shows 11:23 to go and a score of 7-7.
Look at that thing. That scoreboard's doing some funny things.
It surely is. Stoller in motion to this side, and McClure lined up on this side. Flanagan will throw after the fake, and he's going to go long down the left side. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Brandon Martin to the 35, to the 40, and across the 45, where he is wrapped up in another flag on the play.
More extracurricular activities, Rich. Let's see.
Martin, playing center field on that one, really had an easy interception, and he returned it back up to the 45-yard line before being tripped up on the play, and then the flag came from in front of him, and
this one's going against the Coyotes, I believe.
An illegal block below the waist will bring this ball back to, I would imagine, the 30-yard line.
That's probably really the first poorly thrown pass of the night for Flanagan.
That is the third turnover. Second turnover. Thank you, Skip. Second turnover for Rider. And this ball will come back to the 30, but nevertheless, the Coyotes will put it in play. First and 10. We have 11:02 to go in the second quarter. You see the officials call. Referee call again. Brian Keener, our referee tonight. Ricky Edwards is the umpire. Bob Schwartz, the head linesman. Jim Klein, the line judge, and the back judge is James Brock. First and 10 Coyotes. They have a trips left with Dean Lee calling signals and Brian McMillan the lone back. He gets the call and gets across the 30 to the 32. Among the many people that tackled him, number 60, Jason Petrosh. It is Scott Saltzman, Jason Petrosh, David Freeman, and Scott Hart across the front line. Chad Jackson, Curtis Simpson, Rashad Hickman. The linebackers, Tyrone Wesley was supposed to start at linebacker tonight, but Wayne LeBlue says he is hurting, and so may not see action tonight. We'll try to get the other linebacker for you. Kevin Owens and Brian Lewis are the corners, and this free safety is Scott Avery.
Rich happened to scan the Rider sidelines a second ago and saw Coach Wayne LeBlue in one of his players' faces, and I think they were exchanging some pleasantries with each other, and I bet a lot of that had to do with that extra jawing out there that cost Rider 15 yards.
Lee coming to the right side, gets to the 40, puts a beautiful fake on, 45, 50, and across the 50 into Rider territory at the 49, and a beautiful fake by Dean Lee at about the 40 or 41.
I'm telling you, number 26, Brian Turnbow, a sophomore, is still down on the AstroTurf. I think he twisted a knee on that move by Dean Lee.
Very well may have, and as a result, Tyrone Wesley will come into the ball game. It's a first and 10 for the Coyotes. The ball at the Rider 49. A 17-yard pickup for Dean Lee as he skirted the right side and put the fake on beautifully at the 40.
What'd you think of that move, Rich?
And very impressive.
I'm telling you.
Reminds me of a couple of moves I saw. It was the night that the Bears and the Bills were playing that exhibition game, and Chicago has a very fine running back whose name right now I can't remember. It's not Neil Anderson. It's one of their rookies.
For Chicago.
For Chicago, and He put a couple of nice moves on. Brian Turnbow, by the way, is up and walking off under his own power.
You know, you were talking earlier, Rich, when you asked me, you said, what do you think about running the option play in high school? And I said, well, you've got to have the right personnel. I'll tell you something else you have to have that you can't coach. You've got to have instinct. You've got to have a kid at quarterback that can feel pressure and knows when to do it, and not a kid that says, well, I wonder if I have to now, or what do I do? You've got to have instinct to know when to do that. Deshaun Young splits out wide to the left side. To the right side comes Brandon Martin on second, or rather first down. McMillan gets the call, stays on his feet, gets across the 45, tripped up and around the 40-yard line, but after a 9-yard pickup, it will bring up second down and 1. Now, this is what we saw the first possession the Coyotes had. They were really clicking and really executing, and you're seeing it again now. Mike Williams, Matthew Farquhar, Brian Johnson, Eric Reed, and Juan Herrera, the offensive line, with Chris Amador, the tight end. And those are the men in the trenches up front that opened that hole for Brian McMillan. And those are some familiar names. Brian Johnson, a transfer last year to Wichita Falls High. You mentioned Herrera. And Farquhar. Ramos comes wide to the right side. The wide out. The give is to the second man through, and that is Deshaun Young. And Deshaun Young gets the first down as he crosses the 40 and gets inside the 35, just inside the 35. And the pickup there of 6 will bring up a first and 10. You see 51 and 34 checking in for Ryder. 51, Brian Bagby. 54, John Miller, a senior, 5'10", 180. Josh Grissom, one of 2 players to come out. David Freeman, the other. This is a first down for the Coyotes at the 35. We're inside of 9 minutes to go until halftime. Jeff Milam will join us at halftime, the assistant sports editor, of the Wichita Falls Times Record News. Lee gives to McMillan. McMillan gets a couple of yards, tough yards, to the 33-yard line. Wrapped up on the play by Kevin Owens. See, we can see okay when they come to the near side. When they go away from us, we're having problems picking up. And numbers. You can't miss 64, Scott Saltzman, the defensive end. I mean, he's only 6'2", 246, so we picked him up all right. That's all. Ball spotted just shy of the 32-yard line. A 2-yard pickup on the last possession will bring up a second down and 8. With 8 minutes and 2 seconds to go until halftime, 7-7 our score here at Memorial Stadium. Lee to throw, over the middle, incomplete. The pass intended for Jason Ramos. The pass was deflected. And the pass falls incomplete. It will bring up a third down. Brian McMillan so far has ran 6 times for 31 yards. Pretty good average, isn't it? Not so bad. It's a little more than 5.2. Maintain that kind of average through a 10-game schedule. You've done something. Ooh, yes, you sure have. Third down and 8 at the 33. Martin comes to this side. Ramos goes to the top. On third down, Lee rolls to his left, being chased out of the pocket, jumps to avoid a tackler, still on his feet at the 35 to the 30. Dropped the football and then picked it up. He will be short of the first down. The pickup of about 4 will bring up a fourth down and 6. Matthew Farquhar was alert, picked up the loose football, was able to maintain possession for the Coyotes, and as Rich said, it'll be fourth down and what, Rich, about 4, 4th and 4? We'll call it 4th and 6. They need to get to the 25-yard line. So it should be 4th and 4. Oh, that's a new clock, though. We approach the 7-minute mark going. It looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down, and why not? But first, they'll take a timeout. Joe Cluley wants to talk about it with Dean Lee and company, and the Rider defense will come over to talk with Coach LeBleu and others. We have 7 minutes and 4 seconds to go. You have time to order your halftime pizza from our good friends over at Pinocchio's. 2 convenient locations on Kemp, out by Shepherd Air Force Base. 696-3333 and 855-6363. Am I close on that other number? I know you're right on the 696. Well, yeah, we go there often enough. We've never had to use that number. But if you
But if you look it up in the phone book, I'm sure it'll be there for you. 696-3333 on Kemp and 855-6363 up on base. Or out by the base.
Whatever, it's great pizza.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll momentarily take a respite from this weight loss that I'm on so I could fit into the booth this year.
Well, I've been running since about the middle of June, getting ready for this pizza season.
Well, and you look like it. You're looking good. You're looking very fit. Skip's looking fit.
Thank you, Skip. Did you notice I've lost some weight?
Fourth down. Fourth down for the Coyotes. They put a man in motion from left to right. That's number 21, McMillan.
Quarterback draw.
Lee on the quarterback draw, and he will get the first down as he dives across the 20 to the 19-yard line, and a beauty of a play.
Good
for the
call by
quarterback,
Coach
Lee.
Good call.
Pickup on the play of about 10 yards, and the ball spotted at the 19.
So, Rich, you have to say that timeout was well spent.
Absolutely. Keep in mind that this possession for the Coyotes started at their 30 after the major penalty following the interception. This was set up by an interception. At the 19-yard line, 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go before halftime. Our score 7-7. McMillan gets the call. We have a loose ball. It's on the carpet. It is recovered by, apparently, the Coyotes, because we don't see anybody wearing a black jersey getting ultra excited about that. But nevertheless, the ball is recovered by a Coyote. And we're on the far side of the field, and we're having a bit of a problem seeing over there.
Yeah, and no discussion here, Mr. Officials. That fumble did not occur inside the 5.
That's right.
And if it had occurred inside the 5, the same man that fumbled it would have to be the same man to recover
That's right. We have a timeout taken by Ryder with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go until halftime, and the score is 7-7. I'm just wondering if coming into this ball game, the Raider players might have been taking things a little too lax. What do you think?
Rich, I think that's very possible. You know, you have a tendency to read newspapers and you hear what people are saying on television or just around town. Yeah, I think it's very possible that they felt like with the new head coach coming in, a whole new defensive and a whole new offensive system, that, yeah, they probably felt like they had the upper hand. But then when you flip the coin over and you look at the changes that have occurred at Ryder as far as personnel, you say, hey, this may be a toss-up.
Joe Cluley said his #1 goal for this game is to play as well as we can play, but no matter how well you play, you still might not win. Do you think he's pleased with what he has seen so far?
I've got to think so. I've got to say that the first half showing of his offensive unit is the best he's seen this summer so far, really. Because he said in their scrimmages, he said, Donnie, I'm really not that impressed with our offense, but we're not there, but I think we can get there. But it may be district, and I hope it is district, we get things going. But I've got to say, so far tonight, they've looked pretty impressive and have executed very well.
We have 2nd down and 5 for the Coyotes at the Raider 14-yard line. 7-7 our score, but the Coyotes are knocking on the door. Dean Lee gives to McMillan, and Bryan gets a couple of yards running off of left tackle, maybe a yard only, to the 13-yard line. It will bring up 3rd down and 6. Like that?
I heard that knocking.
Did you like that? Let's see if they kick the door open.
Now that's you're taking that away from Bum Phillips.
Hey, remind me. I want to get your opinion on something regarding an upcoming pro football game of a team that you like and a former coach that you probably were either happy to see leave.
You speak very highly of him, don't you? Former coach?
Oh, yeah.
Do you classify him as a coach? I shouldn't say that.
Lee gives to Deshaun Young, and Young gets a couple of yards down to the 10-yard line. It will bring up 4th down. He's closer to the 11, so that's where they'll spot it. It should bring up a 4th and 2. Well, they tried it on 4th down before, and they got it. They're 1 of 1 on 4th down. What do you do here? Do you kick, come away with some points, or you try it again?
Call a timeout and talk about it again.
Okay, so why don't they do that? And they did. They must have been listening to you. 5 minutes and 3 seconds to go until halftime. A timeout taken by the Coyotes. That is their last timeout. We'll take the timeout with them. With the score 7-7 here at Memorial Stadium, you're watching high school football. It's the game of the week here on WFTV. We'll be back. be for the Coyotes. They're going to try it on 4th down. This is the second 4th down they've had on this possession. They got it the first time. Lee on the fake, now goes back the other way, and I don't know. He's going to be close. I think he needed to get to the 9, and he crossed the 10.
But again, it depends on the spot.
It does depend on the spot.
And how much forward progress they're actually going to give him.
A phrase that we've heard many, many times. They will... Are they going to bring the chains in? I don't know.
They're going to measure.
Here they come. They're going to bring the chains in, and
He didn't get it.
We're going to set up for a measurement. And judging by where they've got it spotted, I don't think he got it either. And he didn't. Ryder holds. And the Raiders will take over on downs. Dean wanted to come to the right side, saw he had no opening, went back to the left, had no opening there, so took it straight up the middle. And this time they were ready for him. They were ready for that quarterback sneak draw whatever they were going to call it that time.
Yeah, they just didn't look right from the outset. And as you mentioned, the pressure from the outside forced Dean Lee back in where he actually did not want to go, Rich, and resulted in Ryder tackling him just shy of the first down.
It was an 11-play drive that looked impressive. They did some good things on that, and again, they're showing us a few things tonight. Ryder taking over on downs, and Mondrall Lewis gets out across the 10 to up near the 15-yard line. I beg your pardon, that was Matthew Blackman, the first man through, number 15. And again, we apologize. They're on the far side of the field. The lighting is not so great. We had a power outage earlier this evening. We were delayed for about 25 or 30 minutes, and not all of the lights are working. On 2nd down and 5, with inside of 4.5 minutes to go before halftime, Stoller comes in motion. McClure is split out to the left side. Flanagan on the pitchback to Lewis, and Lewis is going to be wrapped up and actually manages to get away and pick up about a yard. He was stopped behind the line originally, or stalled behind the line by, let's see, it looks like Dean Lee, but managed to get away, and he squirmed his way through for about a yard up to the 16, and it will bring up 3rd down and a long 4.
How are they on 3rd down?
Kevin Parsons splits out wide to the right side, and Stoller lines up in the slot on the right. The tight end is Thad Carnine. Flanagan to Lewis. No, it's a play-action fake, and the pass is caught by Stoller and dropped at about the 22-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down and kicking time for Craig Brown. Ryder is 0 of 3 now on 3rd down. And with the ball this deep in their own territory, they're not even going to risk it. They will kick.
No,
don't forget, tomorrow
Stoller
night...
has been able to hold on to the football there, Rich. He had the necessary yardage for the first down.
Looked like he did. That's true. Tomorrow night, if you're watching us on Sunday, we have MSU Southern Arkansas. Skip will be calling the game for you tomorrow night. If you're watching us on Tuesday, then you have to wait until Thursday. But it's well worth it. I promise you it's well worth it. Brown gets the ball in good shape, gets his kick away, fielded at the 46 or 7, and dropped. The ball is loose, and it's recovered by the Coyotes, but back at the 38 or 9-yard line. It was recovered by Byron Lacey, but he is not the man who muffed it.
You know, I had a funny feeling about that. I saw the ball up in the air, and I had a feeling that he wasn't going to field that cleanly. I don't know why.
And you were right. He didn't. We have 3 minutes and 18
strange
seconds
vibes.
to go. Before halftime, we are still tied at 7. Coyotes will put the ball in play. 1st down.
No timeouts, Rich.
No timeouts left. That's right, Donnie. Dean Lee on 1st down gives to McMillan, and McMillan gets good yardage as he gets out across the 45, still on his feet at the 50, and into Ryder territory at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 15 yards.
Now that guy, McMillan, has done a great job tonight, and he shows you excellent balance right there. He breaks about 3 tackles, and I wish we had the instant replay, but we don't. But take my word for it, great job of running.
I saw it. Down to the 46-yard line, 1st and 10.
And I can promise you Tommy Hickey is going crazy in that truck, our director, trying to get things going.
What is that, about 46, 47 yards for McMillan right now? 48? First and 10 for the Coyotes in Rider territory at the 46. Lee on the shovel pass. It's a nice shovel pass. It gets good yardage across the 35 down to the 33. The shovel pass to number 22, Lyman Harris.
Shades of Andre Ware and Chuck Witherspoon, huh? The old run and shoot.
What are we going to call that? The run and shoot, stretch and run? We have a player down. Hold on, Donnie. We do have a player down. Let's see who that may be.
Is it Turnbow again, 26? You remember he was shaken up earlier when Dean Lee put the good move on earlier in the quarter.
We'll try to get a number for you. It's 26 again, Brian Turnbow, who was hurt earlier in the game, and it may be his ankle again.
Now, Rich, I'm going to take a guess at this, too. You remember Brad Turnbow that played for Ryder the last several years?
Yes.
I say a brother. I guess it's a brother. Don't know that for fact.
Sister.
Well, no, we know that. Brother, cousin.
Attendance has picked up here since the beginning of this game. I think the people who thought the game started at 8 o'clock, or then there are some who still think this game is in November, but anyway.
And those folks will miss it.
I think, judging by the way this crowd looks, that we have a few more black and gold than we do red and black. What do you think?
Well, you don't think it has anything to do with the black and gold are sitting closer to us, do you, than the guys in the red and black?
that really doesn't have as much to do with it.
You're right.
Brian Turnbow is still on the carpet, shaken up. He is getting up. He will be helped off, and let's see. Thankfully, it's not an. It's probably an ankle. He just may have turned it again, and his place on the field will be taken by Tyrone Wesley, who normally would have gotten a start tonight, but he is hurt, but not enough to where he can't play, and so he gets the call now, comes in as a replacement. Curtis Simpson, Chad Jackson, and Rashad Hickman are the other linebackers in right now. It's first and 10 for the Coyotes at the 39-yard line. The pitch back comes to Deshaun Young, and Deshaun Young gets across the 30 to the 28. He picks up 5 or 6, maybe closer to the 27. It will be second down and about 4.
I remember that young man from last year, Deshaun Young, who ran in the single wing formation of Coach Joe Bob Tyler.
Spotting the ball at the 27-yard line. Looks closer to the 28 to me. Second down, 6. Lacey comes out wide to the right side on second down. The give inside to number 22, Lyman Harris, and Harris gets to the 25-yard line. It will bring up third down and about 4.
Tell you what, Rich, you mentioned the crowd a few moments ago. We talked about possibly being more people dressed in gold and black than there were here in red and black. But I'll tell you something. I can guarantee you those folks across the way in the east side that are dressed in red and black are really enjoying what they've seen so far here in the first quarters compared to the last several years. I can promise you that.
I think that there were a lot of people here in town who thought this game was going to be a blowout.
Well,
now so far,
I know, and blowout as far as Ryder was concerned, being on top. Well,
for 22 minutes and 36 seconds, it's been anything but.
That's right. You can forget that.
Third down and 1. Forget that noise, Donnie says. Dean Lee to throw. Steps up, gets the pass away. It is incomplete. Intended for Lyman Harris. He short hopped it.
Yeah, and Rich, you've got your 4th and short again. And one thing here, they don't have the luxury of, well, they do. The clock is stopped, of course, on the incompletion. I was going to say they don't have the luxury of being able to call a timeout, but they don't need one. What do you think here?
Well, I tell you, you have 1:14 to go. Your defense is playing reasonably well. I'll tell you, I'd go for it. And the play that I try again.
Quarterback keep, or?
Well, no, because they're expecting that. I'd try that shovel pass again. That worked well last time. That Andre Ware to Chris Witherspoon, or
Chuck Witherspoon,
Witherspoon, his brother. Trips left formation, quarterback draw. Lee gets the first down.
Now watch. Now see, they've already got another play call. They're gonna line up at the line of scrimmage and get this one going. Smart again. They went ahead and had a second play called.
Very smart. Well, they have the clock. They've got the clock stopped to move the chains on first down. They move the ball to the 22-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10.
And they're just getting together back there, folks, and okay, guys, remember what we had called? Okay, let's go, snap count, let's get up there.
Chris Amador lines up tight on the right side, and when this play does develop, it will be Jason Ramos, who caught the touchdown pass earlier, an 18-yarder from Lee. He will come out wide to the right side. Lee on first down, keeps it, rolls to his right, still keeps it, gets away from a man, gets across the 20, down across the 15, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, picks up 8 yards. It will bring up a 2nd and 2 with 35 seconds to go. They've got to line up and throw an incompletion, get this clock stopped. 30 seconds now. 2nd and 1, they'll call it. Lee does throw the ball down, a smart play, and it will stop the clock and give everyone a chance to regroup. You're never going to let them forget that play last year in Abilene, will you? No, you really won't. I wish I had gone to that game with you guys. But
you heard what I said.
Well, yeah, I heard what you said. But when Barney Self couldn't guarantee that we'd be inside, I didn't really want to risk staying outside the entire game.
And that's why Barney's in Denver right now, because he couldn't guarantee Rich we'd be inside.
Yeah.
And it was cold, folks. It was in the 30s over there in Abilene. I'll never forget that.
I think he's in litigation up there or something, or somebody's not working for him.
Well, Barney, if you're out there, hello. Everything's great down here.
All right, you have a 3rd and 1. You have 24 seconds to go. What do? You throw? If you run the ball and you don't get out of bounds.
Hey, I know all about that. Well, you know, don't relive the past again. We're not going to do that, I don't think.
Donnie Lang, not a charter member of the How Soon They Forget Club.
Oh, well.
Donnie proving once again why that elephant-like memory of his endears him to so many people over at Hershey High School, at least right now.
I love them, and I love those kids, and they deserve a better fate, but that's over with, and I'll forget it one of these days, and we're going farther this year.
Yes, I think so. 24 seconds to go here until halftime. It's 3rd and 1 for the Coyotes. Deshaun Young lines up in the backfield behind Dean Lee, who will throw on 3rd down. Goes to the left side, incomplete. It will bring up 4th down. And now I think you kick a field goal and you get away from this.
And Scott Helbing can do it too. But it's up to Coach Cluley, and they're going to send him in. Here we go. We're going to try it.
Here comes the kicking team, and I think this is a smart move because you're not going to leave Ryder with an awful lot of points, and I don't know that you'll get a kick return.
And if they spot this correctly, with the line of scrimmage being the 13, this should be a 30-yard attempt because they ought to spot it right at the 20.
The holder is Joel Sparks. The kicker is Scott Helbing.
Wind in their face, though, Rich.
There's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. It is off to the right, and so Ryder holds again with 16 seconds to go. All right. They don't come away with any points in that possession. How many plays did they run off there? 10 plays in that one.
And that's the last 2 offensive possessions they've had. They've controlled the clock, but have come away with no points.
And I'll tell you that possession started at the 39 after the botched punt, or the muffed punt. It could have started at about the 48, and they would have had a little more time.
But I'm not going to get too critical because I'm still impressed with what I've seen.
I'm not. I'm just making a point there.
Right.
I wouldn't dare take the criticism away from you. 1st and 10 for Ramon Flanagan. Staller in motion to the left side. Flanagan will give to Monroe Lewis, and Monroe Lewis gets to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, and out of bounds with 7 seconds left. No, let's sit on this clock and go in at halftime for Ryder. Monroe Lewis takes it to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 42 yards.
And if he had Tom Dempsey, you might try a field goal from here.
Might do that as well. Yes, that's right. 7 seconds to go. Kevin Parsons splits out wide to this side, to the left side. That's the near side. Staller will come in motion out to the right side. Flanagan, play action, will throw, and then is going to be wrapped up behind the line, then is dropped, and that is how the first half ends. Brian Johnson, the man that wrapped him up behind the line, and we have a dead heat here at halftime. The score is 7-7. The Coyotes and the Raiders, and so far, Donnie, you have to give the advantage to the men in white. They have outplayed the men in black so far.
I think Coach Cluley has got to be pleasantly surprised at what he's seen in the first half, Rich, as far as his offense is concerned.
The bands and a few other things coming up for you at halftime. We certainly hope you're enjoying being with us tonight as much as we're enjoying having you with us here at the stadium. We have a 7-7 tie at halftime, and we'll be back right after this. With the score, Wichita Falls High 7, Riders 7. You're watching the Game of the Week here on WFTV. It's halftime. We'll be back. Apologize, broken. We have a 7-7 football game. We have a few stats that we'd like to share with you. First downs in this ball game, Coyotes 9, Raiders 5. Coyotes have run the ball 24 times for 121 yards. The Raiders 15 for 85. Passing, Coyotes 3 of 9 for 54 yards. Rider 2 of 7 for 69 yards. Coyotes have picked one off. Coyotes have had 2 fumbles, did not lose either one. The Raiders have fumbled twice and lost one. Both teams have been penalized twice for 20 yards. Both teams have punted 2 times. The Raiders averaging 41 yards. That would be Craig Brown, and Joel Sparks is averaging 30.5 on his 2 kicks. Very interesting football game, Donnie. I think the one thing that we've remarked on and will continue to remark on as the game progresses is that the wrinkled eye, or whatever Joe Cluley is calling it, seems to be working very well, and it looks like it is confusing Ryder at certain times.
Well, what they've done too, Rich, is they've lined up in so many different formations or different variations off the thing, and again, going back to what you called it, I don't care whether you call it the wrinkled eye or the pressed eye or whatever. I think Coach Cluley's more interested in execution and consistency, and I think so far in the first half, he's got to be pleased. And again, I go back to saying, I think in the 3 scrimmage games that they had, or the 2 scrimmage games that they had preceding this regular season game, that I don't think they executed this well.
I agree. Very quickly, we want to tell you about something that Vista Cablevision has for you. Tune in free all this coming weekend to the HBO test drive and treat yourself to a non-stop lineup of Hollywood blockbusters. On Friday the 14th, Saturday the 15th, and Sunday the 16th, right here on Vista Channel 10. Don't tune to HBO on Channel 5. You won't receive a clear picture. The free tune-in for HBO will be on Vista Channel 10. And here's what you'll see beginning Friday night at 7 o'clock. Tales from the Crypt, which I guess would sum up what happened last year in Abilene. At 7:30, Dream On. Well, then they have something in here that says, oh, Dream On Test Drive Sweepstakes is what it says. At 8:05, one of my favorites, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. At 10:30, Dead Bang. Enough said about that. 12:15 a.m. on Friday, Roadhouse. And we'll tell you about the rest of the schedule as we go on.
Well, what happened to Friday the 13th?
He's out in California.
Okay. Oh, that's, yeah.
He's out in California. We're sorry to report that Scott Galletti will not be with us at any time during the season because he won't be back in town. His place has been taken by Andy Austin. Ryder will kick off to start the second half. Again, it's 7-7. We have 24 more minutes of exciting football for you. There is Craig Brown's kick. And here come the Coyotes back to the 25 and up close to the 27-yard line. And it looks like number 42.
Laryl Bonner, 42. Laryl Bonner, a senior, 145 pounds.
Thank you, on the return. First and 10 for the Coyotes. They scored